Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C. pattern of conduct, the ongoing real-time documentation of what is the criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is the pattern of conduct underway by a public entity, that is the state of California, that is engaging in federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California. So this is group conduct. And this is the practicing of what are the criminal elements of monitoring amongst what is the demon possessed. And so this is what is documentation of terrorism as it is underway by a public entity in concert with the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government as this criminal system is in ceaseless operation. And as the state engages in this demented group conduct, this is revealing how the public entity, that is the state of California, that is in the United States of America, how terrorism of an American citizen plays out, what that looks like, how that is facilitated amongst a people, amongst a government, how it is public corruption in plain sight, and not only that, how you formulate policy and how you prosecute that which is demonic conduct, it's demonic activity, but that which is in no way impervious to prosecution in federal court, and being subject to ratification into federal policy. This is the P.O.C. Okay, it's 8:26 a.m. License plate IDAHO, literally says Idaho. 8NXD254, 8RBG870, 4RNF331, who was stalking with audible activity. Their demons engaged in bathroom monitoring under the fake sun and in directed light as well. 382YS, handicap. 8VES665, stalking behind me in the parking lot. License 69145V1, 7HZB305, 4VCT888, 8TDY069, 8KED587 is the security patrol or safeguard patrol on demand. They were bathroom monitoring. 8TDY069, they're all sitting in their cars monitoring me and engaged in real-time group surveillance, and that's the unprecedented invasion of privacy. 6ABU161, violent sex offenders, and then just walking around like they're just normal out here. That's what the entity is doing, the government, and that's what these demons are doing. 42232F2, so understand every aspect of that sexual violence and that demented pattern of conduct. 7BTR673. 6WXL051, 7WAY724, 4YPP001, 7JBY518, 8MZL027, 53424S1. And just like I showed you last night, the state hovering over Fern, where I'm at, hovering over B&G Plaza, where I was at, hovering over the 8VNK753. That's what the state is doing right now, hovering over the parking lot. Also the ongoing indication of stalkers who are also the sex offenders. They were bathroom monitoring right now. 92612X2, 6VFV663, 7SIY485. And that is the sex offender flying over while I'm reading all the license plates of the sex offenders that surround. And that is at 8:29 a.m. And these are minions at what is the Ontario Village Shopping Plaza at 8:29 in the morning on Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. 4NAN689, 8S23081, 6SCZ391, 7YXH521, 4LVC507, 8DMT663. And even where the state is flying, it's not only stalking indicated by where it's always hovering. This amplified audible activity is always occurring with that, regardless of any elevation, but the state is nonetheless always hovering and not taking off from the airport. That's stalking in airplanes. BM07R70, and it also engaging in what is that conduct, which is also indicated as stalking, while a fake sun remains over me, and while directed light is present, because that's not sunlight, and that's also not the sun, also an ongoing indication of what is stalking with airplanes. You have what is also the state flying over me and the location inside of the village. So while I'm over here at the coin laundry part of the Ontario Village Shopping Center, that's where the state is flying over with the commercial airline plane hovering. All right, and you're not coming from the Ontario airport hovering at that great distance where the state acts like it's taking off right over me, and it does so in a matter of seconds. That's exactly what it could be doing from the airport. It's not. They're stalking in airplanes, and this is a stalker as well. 5294683, 8SHN312. An incredible image I just captured while I'm at Ontario Village, the fake sun over 8SHN312. And the demon with the license plate 7GGD797 stalking with audible activity as I take that picture. All of them are demons alike. 5RFC617. And if these aren't American citizens, these are the demons you ship out of the country. We got enough demons here, and they're driving 5294683, whoever's vehicle that is, if it's not theirs. They are nonetheless on surveillance cameras inside of the venue. I read these already. And they are under what is the fake sun that's on the coin laundry side of the venue. Okay? It's 8:31 a.m. I took a picture of that. That is speaking to what they're all doing, which is stalking. And these stalkers are all engaged in what was bathroom monitoring. So I just want to document that. Going inside of what is the venue of Miss Donuts. Alrighty, it is 8:31 a.m. I read all of these license plates. JSD510. Enlarged size of a shadow of their car on the driver's side, directed light across the tree and the curb and the asphalt on the passenger side, while the fake sun is directly above the parking lot. There are minions that are pacing all around. 7BAR566 included. 69145V1 is stalking with light. Not only use of the reverse lights, but directed light is on the ground behind them. That's a terrorizing act, okay? That's an act of terrorism while they're stalking, acting in concert with the state. That is, again, 69145V1. And understand how the state is engaging in ongoing terrorism while those demons repeat that conduct with impossible light over and over and over again. All right, this white-faced demon, 21694J1, also revving their engine, which is also a terrorizing act. While that psychopath is listening to me document, I'll prosecute for that, all right? Those are all the grounds upon which you are intensifying a prosecution for psychopaths who are targeting you with the government. Because everything they're doing is to your detriment and it's threatening your life while they're monitoring and stalking with the state. AVES665 is stalking again with light. License plate. Oh, okay. I was about to say something, Satan. Do you have something to say?
Yeah, how about getting on the road so we don't hit you?
Okay, you're stalking. Get it right. Get your priorities right. Yeah. Is that the sun? What was that, a fucking idiot? Okay, I'm going to prosecute you, Satan. License, that's 21694J1. I'll see you in federal court, you psychopath. You're a sex offender. You're the fucking idiot. License 8NXD254. Excuse my language. Dealing with Satan. I don't have any respect for that. 7EZU394. That's the psychopath too that is stalking you. Directed light, fake sun all over. And then I'm in the way while you are stalking. 7NXA119. 6WDX239. 8HLW324. 8EEY240. That's exactly the type of harassment and threatening conduct, especially if you have the numbers of minions that engage in such conduct. And the demonic mindset is that when you have a whole bunch of who are equally, let me get this license plate, 8YKF290, are equally lacking in any credibility, all right? This is where you are ignorant, though, about what the government is doing through the mask of such minions, 7VQW192. And also that white-faced demon that's in directed light is on surveillance cameras inside of State of Brothers right now monitoring. All right, and I have shown you the fake sun. I've shown you the directed light. You know exactly what is going on here. And that audible activity is going to the prosecution of this entire entity. The entire one, let alone that one that I'm specifically identifying. 8KED587, 7GBD426, 8WSC366. But like I said, that is the mindset of the minions and the government, right? Thinking that it is impervious, that it can get away with practicing evil and engaging in literally what is criminal activity because by virtue of the fact of numbers, by virtue of the fact of the identity of being the state, all right? But for documentation, 6NHL600, and the identity of what is demonic activity at its core. And so you're understanding the nature of it. And the demonic mindset is that where you have a whole bunch of minions, because that's what they are, lacking credibility equally so, and where you are aware of the environment that you are being what is targeted at, you are understanding what is a psychopath. All right. And literally revealed and stripped down to the nude, if you will, showing their bare bottoms, because you're looking at what has no cover anymore. And then you are understanding the malice behind everything that they say and they do. And that's revealing a psychopath. And that's an unlawful threat. That's called the impermissible threat. And so as I'm documenting, that's a violent sex offender and a stalker that also knows that they're being documented and then is going to pay for it prosecution, because what you will not do is continue to wage that threat. You're already engaging in the elements. Everything that you are saying is intensifying your prosecution. All right. The government is threatening. The government is stalking and monitoring, sexually violating, and speaking through the demon possessed who are all following you around. So you document that audible activity, 6WLH318. My ability, like I said, to confront the demonic is in no way less of a threat to me. Somebody is going to have to confront it. I'm confronting it, and I'm also giving a tutorial as to how to prosecute it and how you treat it under policy 8CRV348, and that's a threat. Okay? That's a threat by a demon-possessed, white-faced American who has yet to face what are the very intense repercussions for stalking with the government. All right. 6 NID 517. It's unprecedented with regard to that prosecution and those repercussions. 6ZUU 563. All right. Let's be clear that white male engaging in what is harassment by an entity, engaged in federal stalking, engaged in what is molestation by an entity, engaged in what is terrorism, and engaged in what is federal stalking in violation of Title 18 2261A. You have what is engagement in the pattern of what is 7PLN467. You have what is engaging in all of this together while you are also a kidnapper. You are a thief, okay? Engaging in a pattern as a thief. You are a weirdo stalker hiding around my vehicle, all right, stalking me while I'm sleeping, while I'm awake, while I make any minor move. That's the stalker. That's speaking in the parking lot during the day under a fake sun and in directed light. Stalking all around me in the parking lot. 7LFL399. Remember, it's one entity, one demonic entity. And that is Satan that's cussing you out while they're stalking you. Satan honking at you like you're in their way while they're stalking you. 7XVK314. All of that which Satan engages in is premised upon the fact of the ignorance of the American citizen who's being targeted by the government. All right, because you are unaware of the fact that you are being molested and surrounded with that which is engineered light, serving for the purpose of monitoring. And it is that which is used and executed by what are none other than demon-possessed actors. 5GCK951. All right, you have the understanding that you are under that which is not the sun, and that's why at 8:38 a.m. it's at this end of Hope Boulevard. The state's fakes are moving over me. That's why I'm able to capture it over the coin laundry building, right while those stalkers are in relevant positions, stalking with audible activity and using their vehicles as light activity. 7VST502, and the state is hovering over that part with amplified audible activity with a commercial airline plane. All right, and I've already documented coin laundry before. You've literally seen the demons inside of that laundromat with enlarged shadows on the wall. You've seen that demonic activity, and this is conduct that the state provided to me as far as documentation. This is the entity, that's the reality of this entity. They're demons, and that's why you have what was that incredible and spectacularly incriminating evidence that I've already gathered and published. This is August 2020. I have documented coin laundry on more than one occasion. The state kept its fake sun over that laundromat all day. And when I say over the laundromat, that's what I mean. And the state was setting its fake sun in front of that laundromat, just like it does at every other venue, just like I'm showing you at the Fontana Lewis, just like I've showed you at the Upland Public Library, just like I've showed you at the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, acting like the sun is setting wherever it is that I remain. The state did the same exact thing at that coin laundry, where those demons were in there in directed light, and all of their shadows were appearing enlarged inside of the depths of that coin laundry, where the state kept its fake sun right above that building of the coin laundry inside of this venue, which is Ontario Village. That's just one example. And then you have what is a white-faced demon-possessed stalker harassing me. That's the conduct that you are going to prosecute. That's a violent psychopath. All right, literally out of their mind, and yet to be confronted with what is all of that artillery of the American citizen who's being stalked by the government, and you're going to prosecute for every syllable coming out of that demon's mouth. All right, that is silencing Satan. 10746W1, 7R28774, 8NVU561, QBC9321. And so, like I said, with regard to my documenting that psychopath, you forgive my language, but I'm dealing with what is an ongoing threat. I'm dealing with what is literally an entity that is out of its mind. And is, let's be clear, at the end of the day, Satan is just furious because I'm documenting. That's what that white-faced demon is dealing with. And I don't care, because I'm going to prosecute for that audible activity that you heard. Okay, because the ordinary targeted individual, which is petrified, which is terrorized while their body is being molested, while strangers are walking and driving all around them, stalking them, and they're being attacked with what is unnaturally occurring, which is directed light, and while the state is hovering over them with a light source, even as they realize it and the state engages in more of that, all of this is terrorism and sexual violence, while the entity is stalking them in the bathroom, all right, everywhere that they go. 4HBZ635 inside of whatever private space that they live in, or whether they're homeless, whatever their economic status is, while the entity is engaging in stalking with all manner of audible activity, which is noise, which is also a form of infliction of suffering. It's terrorism. While a psychopath that is stalking you is constantly engaging in that conduct with every move that you make, everything that you are doing on a communication device, that's terrorism. It's absolutely demented. While that ongoing stalking with light, while the demons that are packs of creatures are stalking all together, this is terrorism. While that is all underway, and that's what you have coming out of the mouth of that white-faced demon, I'm going to prosecute the whole entity for that. 4SXH842, and that is the psychopath, okay? That is the literal one that is out of their mind with regard to, first of all, speaking in the face of that prosecution, because that's unhelpful to all, and that's the same one engaging in assault with a deadly weapon by an entity. That's the same one cussing at me this morning, 7TKW833, because that demon is hostile because I'm documenting it. An enterprise intentionally crossing path and molesting with directed light, 63274E3. All right, stalking at B&G Plaza with knowledge that I'm documenting him, stalking at the Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue with knowledge that I'm documenting them, and stalking at Ontario Village today in directed light under the fake sun with knowledge that I'm documenting them. 7SVS602, 7FDZ114. This is Safeguard Patrol on Demand Stalking with Peculiarized Light, PPO18082. That's license 8KED587. He's using peculiarized light. And that was Enterprise rental car. Let me show you this. Do you have business over here?
Yes, I do.
What's your name?
Why do you want to ask my name?
Why are you asking me what I'm doing in the parking lot?
Because
am I breaking into a car?
Because I heard a complaining that you're...
he heard a complaint, which is audible activity.
Over here.
Oh, really? Actually, I saw you standing right over there when that white man was cussing at me.
Which white man?
The white man that got in the white truck and he went inside of Stater Brothers. Isn't that where you work?
I don't work for the Stater Brothers.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw you standing out right there in front of the direct wall, directed light.
My question is direct to you. Do you have any business over here?
I'm walking.
Okay.
And is that illegal? Why are you harassing me?
I'm not harassing
you. Yes, you are, because I'm
No.
documenting and there's nothing violating the law while I'm walking around in the public.
Man.
Trespassing how? You cannot trespass on public property.
This is not a public.
This is a parking lot.
This is a private.
This is a parking lot.
Well,
where is there a trespass?
Sign over there, sign over there.
For what?
For trespassing.
Am I violating a parking law?
No, you're violating for trespassing.
How?
When I ask you to leave and
why are you targeting me and asking me to leave though? That's my question.
Yes,
Why? Why?
Because I don't want you down here.
Why?
Because I don't want you here.
Why?
You're trespassing.
How?
What do you mean how?
I'm asking you how. Why are you pointing at me instead of 2944702?
You're not doing any business.
Exactly. I'm not doing anything, so why are you focused on me?
Well, I focus.
Why don't you focus on somebody that's stealing from Stater Brothers? I'm minding my business walking outside.
Well,
what is your name that's targeting me? This is Safeguard On Demand Private Security.
I have to call the police. Then.
You go ahead and engage in that. That's fine. What is your name?
I can't tell you, man. Have a nice day.
Let me get this while he wants to hold up his phone and take pictures of me. And let's get this under the fake sun as well.
I can take my picture whatever you want.
Okay. And that's supposed to be a threat. I'm going to engage in operating my constitutional right. I'm not breaking any laws. You are, in fact, though.
No.
And this is also harassment while you're doing that. No. And I am not violating any laws by walking around outside under the fake sun where you're harassing me. All right. Okay, bye. You can summon the police. They're going to federal prison as well. Go ahead. That's license 8KED587, PPO0188082, Safeguard Patrol on Demand with Peculiarized Light. License 7VCJ757. Stalking, touching with directed light. 29447U2 is monitoring with that demon while they are crossing path with directed light and while the fake sun is here. You listen to all that audible activity. Those are demons that are monitoring and hostile to documentation. 69733T2 and criminal summoning. You're talking about that's grounds of federal prison. That is the pattern of conduct by the entity. All right, and that is exactly why that's going to be grounds for federal prison. While this entity altogether is monitoring and stalking and harassing because you're documenting the fact that there's psychopaths and sex offenders, 8HTA602 under the fake sun at 8:45 a.m. at the Ontario Village Shopping Center while I'm walking around on public ground. License plate and doing what should be catching the attention of no one. All right, 32513W1. That is home remodeling, kitchen and bath. That's a commercial vehicle monitoring. I'm saying not the commercial vehicle, but that is a group stalker. And what is a commercial vehicle? The same exact elements of directed light under the fake sun, monitoring with communication devices, engaging in commercial stalking. In other words, that's the significance of that commercial vehicle. Same with Enterprise, which I did take a picture of, 8CHN384, so you can see what is the stalking under the fake sun. That's exactly what Enterprise is engaging in. No facilitating venue is any form for that. And you're also witnessing the pattern of conduct of what is harassment by an entity while they are engaging in the P.O.C, and I'm documenting it, 8VFT818. So you're talking about what is necessity with regard to that policy as well, because this is the government's pattern of conduct to engage in what are kidnapping, efforts of kidnapping, and engaging in what is terrorizing, threatening conduct, while they are indeed, they being the people and the government, are indeed monitoring, they're stalking, they're engaging in sexual violence, molestation of your person while they're stalking, and then the target individual who is informed with the ability to prosecute is then threatened by that same entity. That's a conduct of a psychopath, a very violent, a literal, out of their cotton-picking mind psychopath. That's the level of crazy, okay? Let me get this one over here, because he's just been sitting in his car while the harassment is underway, while Enterprise enters the parking lot, while the demons are patrolling by me and touching with directed light, and then you have one that sits stationary, monitoring all to that. Okay, license 7VCP685. 8XQV870, that's a fat white male. 7VCP685 is stalking in the path as I walk to get that license plate and touches with directed light. All right, they're all on cameras inside of what is this parking lot area, which is a venue, and then going inside of Stater Brothers is on camera as well. It's 8:47 a.m. And that fat white male, he's bald, got a gray shirt. He's going inside of what is the east entrance of the Stater Brothers right now, pushing a shopping cart. It's 8:47 a.m. 8HLW324. I think I read all of those. 4UDB428. L89461. VFV163. This is license 8RIB742. That is a state stalking with commercial airline plans. It's 8:49 a.m. AWEM616. All right, showing what is the engagement in what is audible activity creation, and that's by commercial airline plane that is hovering over me where I'm standing in front of the Habit restaurant, and I do capture what is on video. First of all, the state's fake sun is directly over me, and I'm making that immediate contrast down to the minute. You can understand, well, even though it doesn't have to be, because the state is engaging in keeping its fake sun over me and remaining where I am, but I am giving an analysis that would be used for the actual sun. The actual sun is not remaining over a specific address for the duration of the day, rising over one address and then remaining and acting as though it is setting over that and aiming light over that same address, while you have what is engineered light, which is not sunlight, also equally indicative of what is the state stalking with light, practicing a demonic targeting system. And so you're looking at what is the state's fake sun over me at Ontario Village, while the same white man that I documented on my podcast, 29447U2 is crossing path, that I documented on my podcast is engaging in now going out of the way in the parking lot, knows exactly where I am, or understand where he's parked in the front of the Stater Brothers, and I am over here at the Habit restaurant. Understand that he's a stalker, knowing exactly where to find me, okay? Because he actually should have no indication, nor should he be looking for me in that parking lot. That's exactly what he's doing on video. Pay attention to that. He's also doing it under the fake sun. That's also the identification of a stalker, but I just want to point that out. He drives right up while I'm capturing video. And he knows exactly where I'm at inside of the parking lot, where actually I am standing, what is behind vehicles, as opposed to his being parked in the front of the Stater Brothers. All right. He knew exactly where to come find me. And then he's identifying himself as the Ontario Police. Understand that all of this is audible activity while the fake sun is directly over me. And he's engaging in what is that documented act of terrorizing threat, all of which is audible activity that the entity is monitoring too. And I want to be clear, like I stated in that video, it's occurring under the fake sun at 8:52 in the morning, whereas at the B&G Plaza at 8:52 in the morning, I am facing south, which is east of this location on Hope Boulevard. I'm facing south at that B&G Plaza, where the state kept its fake sun for the duration of the time, including now. I still remain at the B&G Plaza on that particular day, and the state kept its fake sun over that venue and kept it over my head as I walked up north up Plum through the parking lot of the City Hall. I documented all of that, by the way. And then the state had its fake sun over the 280 North Limit Apartments as I arrived, and I took video of that at 9:29 in the morning. The state is keeping its fake sun over the Ontario Village Shopping Center, and that is mutually exclusive to being even on the same street over the B&G Plaza. That is the state moving it east and west, keeping it in alignment with me. That is the ongoing stalking with light. Now, while I'm capturing this video, I'm showing you what is stalking by the state in a commercial airline plane. The all-white plane with a blue tail and blue wings with yellow trim on that blue. All right, so I believe that is a commercial airline plane. I can look up the name of that, but I've seen that one before. And you have what is this white man who knows exactly where to find me, despite the fact that I'm actually, as far as his location, I'm behind a vehicle, and he would not be able to see me from coming out and just getting in his car, minding his business, by the way. He's stalking. The environment is indicating that. The state hovering over by commercial airline plane is indicating that, and the directed light that you see while he is driving away in the shade is indicating that, and you are witnessing what is the conduct of Satan as Satan is using the mouthpiece that is this puppet that identified themselves as the Ontario Police. That is in no way different from the entity. The people of the state are monitoring to that. The people of the state are acting as one entity. You're talking about what are demons that are acting directly, whether or not he actually is the Ontario Police. Understand the entity is acting nonetheless as one, okay? The government is operating this targeting system. Second of all, you have what is the engagement in that conduct under what is the impossible placement of what is the actual sun over my head at this location and maintaining presence remaining, all right? So like I said, the state is already documenting keeping its fake sun not only before 9:30, but before this time. It's mutually exclusive. The state keeping its fake sun, for example, over the B&G Plaza as early as 7:31, as I documented as of late, but I've documented that before. The state moving its fake sun in the window while I'm being driven early in the morning, what is east of this location, while you have it, again, maintaining stationary presence over me at this venue while I am here at 8:57 now, and that is remaining. That is coexisting. That does not coexist, in other words, with that documentation that is ongoing that I already published while I was remaining at the B&G Plaza. That's the significance of what I'm capturing right now. That's the ongoing cumulative value, and that audible activity that you're witnessing by that white man who is identifying themselves as the Ontario PD, showing you what are the demon-possessed agencies. They're the same demons. It's the same demon possession. They are of the same condition. These are psychopaths who are revealed as such now. Their condition, which is demonic, demon possession, is no longer concealed, and that is what I have revealed, and I'm also documenting their criminal activity while having that condition, which is terrorism on more than one level. In addition, you're witnessing what is terrorism as you have what is the unfounded hostility, while this group stalker, first of all, could have driven around, all right, second of all, in the street. But second of all, you have what is the unfounded hostility because I'm documenting you, and that's the bottom line. And third of all, you have what is going out of their way, again, to engage in what is more harassment while I'm capturing video of the fake sun over the village, the Ontario Village Shopping Center. Directed light while 8HLW324 is pulling out of the parking spot. It's impossible light, and it is also the method of what is activity activity creation while they're stalking with the state. I just want to document that. It's 8:59 a.m. All of this is gathered in video, so this is what you're going to pay attention to. This white man goes out of his way, knows exactly where to find me in the parking lot, whereas actually you will be getting in your vehicle and you are not able to readily identify me or see me, rather, while you're getting in your car coming from the entrance. And that's based on where I was standing, which is in front of the Habit in the parking lot, which you can see in the video, and there are vehicles that are in front of me over here. So from that vantage point, he would not have been able to see me, and so there's that. I just want to point that out. And then you're also looking at what is the directed light, okay? And what is the fury of that demon-possessed stalker. Understand and recognize the faces of Satan, okay? Because that's what that video is revealing. And it is revealing what is the condition of the people of the state and the entity acting directly. That's that agency that is going to federal prison, whether or not that's actually the Ontario PD. Understand the Ontario PD share that hostility. That demon was communicating hostility on behalf of the entity while I'm documenting them engaging in criminal activity that they cannot substantiate, they cannot support, they cannot defend, they cannot in any way reduce in federal court. And that's a reality. So this was communication of hostility by a psychopath and a sex offender. That same entity is engaging in what is molesting my entire body while they're harassing because I am documenting it. Understand, by virtue of the existence of directed light, the occurrence of directed light, that's prosecution. It's engineered light. It's unnatural. Okay. And I have captured it in over 400, and I have more because I am just now putting it into order where you can see the difference where I've specifically documented the criminal acts with directed light, which is the specific signature of the stalker. That is the state. The state is acting directly and vicariously. Remember that. That's the specific signature of the stalker. All right. And so you're talking about over 400 videos as I have, and still counting with regard to the organization of that documentation. The prosecution of the entity is already done. And you are witnessing what is demonic hostility. That is the terrorizing threat. 7GBD 426, that is Stater Brothers. That's an employee in directed light while that demon drives that vehicle. And that's a sex offender engaging in that terrorism, okay? So that is the animosity, that is the demonic hostility that's communicated through that audible activity under that fake sun, 92612X2, with that directed light. All of that is acts of terrorism, and that's attributed to the entirety of the entity. All right. 8 NRC 981. Anything coming out of the mouth of a group stalker is that which is to be verified. The entity has no credibility. You're talking about an entirely demonic. First of all, that's talking about deceitful. That's talking about a liar. That's talking about a psychopath. That's talking about an untrustworthy, lacking any credibility. Okay, that's just inherent with regard to this system. But also, you're talking about what is malice. All right, 7XGU520. And so, by merely stating that they are Ontario PD, that is not necessarily the case, but I want to be clear. They are nonetheless acting in concert with Ontario PD, who are monitoring. They're stalkers, monitoring while that white man was in front of me, going out of their way because he wants to communicate that hostility. 96733T2. It's no distraction. That's going to the prosecution of the whole entity. Okay, Enterprise is furious as I document them. The Ontario PD, they're furious as I document them. Okay, as I document these minions and showing how they're sex offenders, because they are. All right, thinking that would never be known. Satan is furious about that. And I'm going to place Satan, again, of each of those types of actors, because they're all demon possessed, of each of those types of actors acting on behalf of the state, 7GUS 172, you're talking about what is federal prison. Okay, that is the conduct threatening the life, sexually violating, and stalking, monitoring a violation of federal law, and with knowledge. Understand, not just the criminal, but the criminal that knows. Okay, you're talking about a very dangerous psychopath, as that documentation was literally just handed over to me. And you're talking about those, if that is indeed Ontario PD 5YVR177, you are witnessing then again what I've already stated, the profound grounds upon which the Ontario PD is to be disbanded as an agency. And also you're talking about federal prison engaging in a pattern of kidnapping. Okay. It is it's 9:03 a.m. and that is what I captured on video. So I just wanted to break that down. And everything that white man heard about me, everything that white man said about me is based on also, not only because this is Satan that I'm dealing with, this is demonic activity. You're talking about what is knowledge of everything that I was describing about him. And then he comes around the corner knowing exactly where I'm at in the parking lot while the state happens to be hovering, engaged in the stalking pattern of a commercial airline plane, while the fake sun is over me at that part of the parking lot, okay? Which directed light is also accompanying his presence. He's a stalker and knows exactly where I was at that moment in time, okay? But also engaging in just providing, you weren't cussing, which is a lie. He was cussing. That's exactly why I captured that on my podcast, 7PEH471. You heard me. I said, what? Because I was waiting for him to say something. Because I'm dealing with Satan. I'm going to prosecute them for what comes out of their face. And that white man engaged in using what was effing idiot. That's what he said. All right, you're talking about, first of all, not that it matters. Let me be clear. You don't even have to have a college degree to work for the police department, and that's what's wrong with the government. Okay, they don't even have to know the Constitution. They are literal psychopaths who want to engage in the ability to exercise their internal appetite for violence, for aggression. And you're talking about the ordinary demon-possessed psychopath that's working for the police department, and you don't see that demon possession on them. And not only that, the people that are hiring them are demon-possessed as well. This is how that ongoing entity grows, by the way, like an infection. Okay, and this is public corruption. And this ignoramus is calling me an idiot. Okay, I know the Constitution in it, and this is how I'm prosecuting an entire entity. I don't need to work for any law firm in order to do that. I already have the legal skill set. And prosecuting what is Satan, who is not powerful, has no authority, and just because you have thousands of minions does not equal power. It doesn't. It means a whole bunch of minions are going down together. That's what that means. Satan loses. And you're talking about what is the conduct and the audible activity of a very likely ignorant white man, all right, that is monitoring an African-American woman, and he's furious about the fact that I am superior. First of all, he's a demon, he's inferior, and he's stalking me. And I know it, and understand he's mad about that too. 6JWN521, and not only that, you're talking about what is an ignoramus, probably cannot even spell that, 8JDL043, and could not think of anything more intelligent to say other than to call me fucking idiot, dumb bitch, 7X51694, revealing the true, I read that one, that's directed light while they're touching with directed light crossing path, revealing what is the true, just scatterbrained fury that Satan holds, that Satan harbors. Okay, but there is nothing of an ignoramus about me. College educated, finance my own education on my own credit. This is not to brag. This is the reality, and this is the inferiority of Satan. Satan cannot do anything. Everything that Satan does is going to be used against it. Okay, and that was Satan speaking through that white man who has probably not even, who probably has no professional degree whatsoever. And also, by the way, it's not required in order to serve on your ordinary police agency, which needs to change. All right, they need to know the Constitution. You're looking at rampant use of the Constitution as toilet paper. All right, literally wiping heinies with wiping fecal matter with the Constitution. That's what the police do. 8MDP388, and they need to be required with regard to education. They need to be required with regard to 8FQW829 additional in-depth requirements with regard to their ability to serve as a part of the law enforcement agency, especially as I'm revealing what is demon possession, which is directly relevant to your ability, your fitness in order to serve in such a capacity. All right. So you're aware of what is demonic activity. You're aware of the ways in which that is resulting in what is public corruption in the government and amongst a people. The people are acting criminally with the police. This is what federal group stalking and monitoring is. And so as you are understanding, you cannot recognize demon possession physically. You're talking about understanding and reassessing the ways in which you are letting people onto and into such agencies, 7ROS912. And also what is necessary as a matter of justice when those agencies are documented engaging in what is federal group stalking and monitoring, which is revealing public corruption. It's revealing what is literally the hypocritical conduct and what is systematic criminal activity in violation of federal laws, okay? And also that which is revealing that demon possession, because that's what it reveals. You're talking about disbanding such agencies. You are talking about federal prison where kidnapping is part of the pattern of conduct, in which it is because the demonic entity that's engaging in this P.O.C. is desperate to conceal it. That's what kidnapping is about. That's what criminal summoning is about. All right, that's what threatening to engage in criminal summoning when you're not even in violation of any law. Let me be clear. The entity doesn't have any, where it is monitoring and stalking you and you're documenting it, they don't have any form. This is literally handing Satan every method of judgment that it is worthy of. Patrolling 8KED587, this demon is just patrolling all around, creating all methods of light activity, which is a show of hostility while they're monitoring. All right. And like I said, the one who, that's the security guard on whose behalf that same entity was also communicating hostility. Understand, while I'm dealing with Satan and I'm documenting it, they are entirely hostile to it. Okay. And I'm talking about on a spiritual level. Not just because of the fact, oh man, why are you taking pictures of me? These are not normal people. These are criminals, and these are demon-possessed stalkers who are engaging in the P.O.C. on behalf of a government, and they're very hostile, as I am revealed that. All right, the wealth of documentation that exists already demonstrates that. And you're talking about what is at 9:09 a.m. and the state is keeping its fake sun over the Ontario Village Shopping Center. Okay. And so that is video documentation that I have, and that was worthy of providing some ongoing analysis. Every word that's coming out of their mouth is documentation. It's audible activity. It is that which is spoken on behalf of the entity, and it is that which is signed off by the Ontario Police, whether or not he actually is with the Ontario Police Department or not. But he likely is. That's the conduct of the demon-possessed psychopaths that are the Ontario Police. They are obsessed stalkers who are both obsessed and also furious with regard to my identifying their criminal conduct and the fact that they are demons wearing police uniforms, okay? That's what that fury, while he couldn't even control himself in his seat, all right? That's what that is. That's Satan. It's Satan operating over a white-faced demon. All right, 29483B3, Stalking with Light. It's 9:10 a.m. and this is P.O.C. And that is spectacular video that I captured this morning. And I will mark this episode as explicit just by virtue because of the language, but this is real life, and it's documentation of criminal conduct by government that's engaging in the ongoing threatening of the life of and terrorism of an American citizen. And while the government is threatening your life, like I said, like I have been doing at 26354C3, that is an unlawful threat that no American citizen shall be subject to without consequence, but should not be subject to. Okay. And so you're talking about witnessing a real life threat that's being posed, and as I am confronting it, one demon at a time, or many times, actually it's all of them at the same time, but I'm encountering physically one white-faced demon, another brown-faced demon. It doesn't matter what their race is. You're dealing with Satan. Okay. They're psychopaths, and all of them are stalking together. All of them are in this cartoon environment with directed light, like lasers, like laser tag all over the place. And then they're acting like on the outside, which is it's no persuasive. You're a psychopath. You're under a fake sun, and while that which is not even sunlight is bouncing all over the place, and then you're trying to act like then also like you are conforming to normal rules. The normal rules don't apply. You stand around, you document whoever you want because the entity is stalking you, and you have the right, and it's actually necessary in order to prosecute the government. You're going to document. And let me be clear, there's certain demons you want to prosecute, you document them. Okay. And that's exactly what I'm doing, because I'm establishing precedent, and I'm going to prosecute an entire people. The entity has been doing this for years. All right, including what is ongoing harassment by the brands of law enforcement, if you will, California Highway Patrol, the police departments, the San Bernardino Police Department. I lived in San Bernardino, and they would always engage in giving me tickets, albeit minor tickets, but it was a method of harassment while they were monitoring. All right, you know I have dark tint on my car. You're stalking and monitoring. It's a form for you to engage in monitoring me, to engage in what is harassing me while you're being a stalker. All right, that's the San Bernardino Police Department. 8RDR925, California Highway Patrol. You know exactly that I'm driving in the carpool lane. You are stalking. And that's why that documented act by California Highway Patrol, this state actor gets right on the freeway. And this is back in 2017 when I was working in Orange County, where I was subject to federal group stalking and monitoring, and I did not know it. But that's why the California Highway Patrol, they sped onto the freeway. They drove right over to the farthest lane where I'm in the carpool lane. No questions asked. They knew exactly where I was at. And at that time, I had not yet questioned that. I noticed it, and it stayed right there, deposited in the back of my mind. I noticed it. I was like, wow, he sure did. Okay, but I didn't say anything, and I didn't contest it. It's not a big deal. It's a carpool ticket, okay? Not a big deal. But this is a big deal with regard to monitoring and understanding what is the pattern of conduct where a stalker is operating with fictitious authority. You are stalking and monitoring. You know exactly what I'm doing. You know exactly where I'm at, and that includes in this private space. You're a sex offender as well, okay? So you're talking about through the different law enforcement agencies. You're talking about the Rialto Police Department. You're talking about, because I lived in Rialto, and the Rialto police have stopped me while they were stalking me in the middle of the night for running a red light. But they're stalking, though. And this is all of that which I have experienced before. The entity has been engaging in this for years. You're talking about the Los Angeles Police Department, and that's documented on October 16, 2018. I've already published that. You are talking about the Los Angeles County Sheriff. Now, I didn't exactly encounter that. They didn't stop me or anything, but I documented their criminal conduct, and I documented them again this year when I was in what was Lancaster. I'm sorry, not Lancaster, but that was Palmdale in Los Angeles County. And where did the state go with its fake sun? It wasn't over Ontario Village. That's impossible to coexist, and I captured it clearly remaining over my head as I was in the city of Palmdale in Los Angeles County, aiming directed light onto the floor space inside of that hotel room, the Holiday Inn, which was also filled with directed light, while the state kept its fake sun as I then exited the front of that Holiday Inn in the city of Palmdale, off of Palmdale Boulevard. Okay, and where did the state keep its fake sun? Over me while in the car driving from both the San Bernardino County, which is where we're at, to Palmdale. That's what the state did with its fake sun. And these demons are engaging in what is unfounded hostility. That was Satan that I was dealing with a white face. That's all you're looking at. It's Satan. Satan doesn't have a face. This is why I'm describing it in such manners, because you're not dealing with grace. When you're dealing with Satan, this is a spirit. And that hostility is born of demonic possession. This is a demonic hostility. I'm revealing the criminal activity of the demon possessed. Whether that white-faced demon is of the Ontario Police Department or not, regardless, they are going. He made a legitimate point while bringing that up. They're going to federal prison, okay? And he's speaking on behalf of the entity nonetheless. Whoever he is, I have his image, I have his audible activity on my podcast and on video, and he is under what is the fake sun that is still remaining at 9:15 in the morning, in conflict with what I pointed out, which is the state keeping its fake sun over the B&G Plaza and then keeping it over me as I then walk north up Plum Avenue. And you are clearly seeing that documentation as the state is keeping it over me, which is at an entirely distinctly different location. The state is keeping it over the Ontario Village Shopping Center. And that is the significance of documenting what is a demon-possessed psychopath and sex offender who was stalking you under that light source and in that directed light. I captured all of that. The state's stalking by aircraft, the state's stalking with the fake sun, the state's stalking with directed light as you see him drive by absolutely impossible light that's just appearing off of the back of the car while he's driving in the shade. Not only is it directed light, look at where it's occurring in the shade while he is driving off. And so this is light that's supposedly bouncing off of the car onto the ground behind the car. That's directed light. Okay, you're dealing with Satan, straight up Satan. All right, and that's why I will mark the episode as explicit, but I'm dealing with a real life threat, 8MHP352. I'm dealing with imbalanced psychopath, 5XYL931, 7PEH471. That's what I'm dealing with, imbalanced psychopaths. Monitoring at Demeanor Barbershop. Is this what this is? Oh, no. All right, just maintaining relevant position. This is an obsessed stalker. This is Satan operating through some African-American. That's another vessel. It's a puppet. All right, engaging in obsessive stalking conduct, just maintaining presence all around, just listening to every word that I'm saying with a communication device while the state is keeping its fake sun and while the demons whose license plate I'm reading just direct the light all over the ground, engaging in surveillance together. You have a white-faced demon, this white woman in front of the entrance of the Stater Brothers with a black hoodie, blonde hair, studying her communication device. They're monitoring together while directed light is all over the place, okay? It is 9:17 a.m. And I'm taking that image of you so you can see what is the ongoing environment and what is surveillance. This is called presence just all around the perimeter. They're stalking all together as one, and they are demons focused on their communication devices while they're under the fake sun monitoring. And that particular demon, I noticed a long time ago. I just want to make sure I document that in images. She's been maintaining presence, and I showed you what is the African-American male who's standing behind me and the directed light that's in front while they are parking in front of me, while they are, I'm going to reference the surveillance cameras, P.O.C. I'm going to, you have what is patrolling in front with directed light while this demon stands with the white woman stands on that side. That black man is standing behind me, directed light while the demons are patrolling in their vehicles and parking around and moving their vehicles. It's P.O.C. And it's maintenance of presence. It's called positioning, okay? That's why it's referred to as what is relevant positioning. They are positioning themselves relevant to where I am. And you're looking at the directed light that's all over the wall. They're monitoring and they're stalking, okay? It is currently 9:18 a.m. and I did take images of that. This is at Ontario Village Shopping Center, and you're going to remember that directed light and the fake sun that remains present in Ontario Police License 1582404 crossing path while that white woman is maintaining presence. And I'm going to reference the surveillance cameras again, P.O.C. The surveillance cameras of the Stater Brothers. Ontario PD obviously is intentionally crossing path while they are under a fake sun, 29186K3. and doing so while they're listening to me document the pattern of conduct. And that's the license plate. License CA09H94, paper plate. And you're looking at what is the directed light that I'm showing you images of. You already know what the state is doing at this venue. I've heavily documented them. So the Ontario Police, again, like I said, the same exact environment, the same psychopath, the same demon possession, monitoring while I'm capturing the face of this white-faced woman who was stalking in directed light, which she is covered in while she is stalking in the path, positioning with the other one that was standing behind me. Okay, that's P.O.C. All right, but I just want to be clear. That's the conduct of what are demons. All right, and so that's the demon-possessed agency. That is the Ontario Police that's including itself in the P.O.C. visibly. That's what the entity does, because they were stalking and monitoring the entire time. They visibly engage in the P.O.C. 7C08546, which is the intent to threaten. All right, that's the act of terrorism. License, I already read that one. 8RDR925, 8TCA794. This is CEASELESS. This is a commercial vehicle, wild-crafted sea moss and herbs. This is an African-American male driving that vehicle, directed light on that car. He's in operation of a communication device, 8UED569, P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, 9:20 a.m. And that is, again, that's the one I showed you. The one, and by one I mean the Ontario Police Department, that's the agency, the one I showed you, stalking under what is the fake moon that the state was keeping in alignment with me, the state's fake sun, on that same street over the vehicle at 630 North Fern in the morning, as I've showed you day in and day out. Just showing you what is an image of a stalker. The state's fake sun is not on the coin laundry side anymore. Like I showed you, obviously you saw that in the video as well. This demon-possessed stalker, including children into the P.O.C. That is, again, license 8UED569. Directed light moves across that vehicle while they are inside, and they're stalking and monitoring, engaging in terrorism with the Ontario Police, who also cross path, and 8E819999, and I'm showing you what is the fake sun that's right over that vehicle, okay, while they're getting out of relevant position. That's the paper plate. I already read that one. You're fine. And it's currently 9:21 a.m. That's P.O.C., and I took an image of that. It is 4LB6553. That's a license plate on the trailer of the truck that I read the license plate of. And that truck that ended with 999, it's a trailer connected to it, and that's a license plate on that trailer. They are maintaining presence and just patrolling 6L3C779. Hold on, in case I didn't read this one already. 6LZC, 6LIC, excuse me, 779. 6LIC 779. All right, so I want to be clear. Like I said, I've already shown this over and over again. When I speak of, for example, and the state is keeping its fake sun at B&G Plaza, and the demons are listening to me state that the Ontario Police are going to federal prison, you disband such demon-possessed agencies. They're unfit for that position, for being in law enforcement. They're unfit for being in anywhere in such a position. They're psychopaths. That's what demon possession is operating as. And you were talking about being puppets for Satan. That's the reality of their condition. 4FIR925, 6LIC779, and error mark crossing path 5XYL931 on Hope Boulevard, 8VVG287, 8WSC366, 6VPD792. Let me get this. All right, I did capture on video what is Officer LaRouge and what is, oh, you know what? Excuse me, I have business to engage in which doesn't have anything to do with him. Okay. But I'll go ahead until I have to business here, but I have business in this plaza and I have a right to be here. Okay. Him making up allegations, but I do remember, you don't remember while you're saying I met you, you're lying. I met you though. Okay. But anyway, him engaging in criminal summoning, that's harassment. You're going to federal prison for that, okay? That's why you can't answer the question. But I have business in this plaza and I have a right to be here. Him making up allegations to get you here, which is a form for the pattern of conduct, is not legal conduct. Okay. And I have a right to go to where I'm going later. So I'm letting you know that. Not that I owe you an explanation. Okay. All right, but we're going to, so this is an attempt of terrorism and kidnapping while you're engaged in federal stalking. Thank you, Bertagna? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Bye, LaRouge. I'll see you later. That's criminal summoning. You're going to federal prison too, bruh. P.O.C.
7JVL432. LaRouge is the same one that was monitoring with AWAD. Remember, AWAD is the one that arrived with Officer Guerrero at the Ontario Police Department, 6JVL432, and they were present engaging in what, hey, can we help you? Can we call someone for you? And that was P.O.C. as I documented it in November in front of the Ovid Family Community Library in directed light. I showed you what his images. That's the same LaRouge. He was with AWAD, and that was them engaging in what was harassment at the Ontario Town Square, where you have what is the same pattern of conduct that was criminal summoning while I'm sitting at the Ontario Town Square writing. I was writing, minding my business. You know what I was writing? This is the entity that is scared of documentation. I was writing down the names of third parties, license plates that I was at the time publishing onto my Facebook page. Let me be clear, demons know exactly what you're writing. Regardless of that, you have what is knowledge of my documentation, and that was criminal summoning by the entity acting at the Ontario Town Square on that day. And you have what is the entity engaging in summoning those that Officer LaRouge. And that's interesting that protagonist says that he met me before, which is a lie. LaRouge is actually the one that I have encountered before. While they were monitoring, LaRouge was with AWAD. I've already published this, okay? This was December of 2020. All right, and you have what is, he's lying, and they're monitoring, all right? They're doing it under the fake sun and indirect light, which I want to show you right now at 9:29 a.m. Even though I have that video, that is the direct evidence of everything. While you're engaging in criminal summoning under the fake sun at this time at 9:29 a.m., the state's fake sun is over me while I'm facing the 280 North Limit apartment at the Ovid Family Community Library. That's the fake sun that they are engaging in harassing me with, harassing me under while it's remaining at the Ontario Village Shopping Center. Let me show you that. All right, I wanted to show on video, that's exactly what I got, 9:29 a.m., and I'm showing you what is the fake sun. And I am in, seconds earlier, I just showed what was the state's fake sun over the Ovid family, well, actually at 8:52 a.m. in the morning, and because I'm making that contrast for purposes of understanding what is stalking with light. And what also are you remembering? The state is sounding impossible audible activity. That volume of train activity is occurring under the fake sun while the Ontario police are present pursuant to criminal summoning. And all of those demons are monitoring together. All right? You're talking about what is an entirely violent fury with regard to my documenting the pattern of conduct, and they're going to federal prison. At 9:29 in the morning, you have what is the state's fake sun over the 280 North Limit apartments while I'm at the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library where I remain. All right, you have what is the state keeping its fake sun over the Ontario Village Shopping Center, in no way present whatsoever anywhere over the B&G Plaza as I remain here. And I showed you that at 8:52 a.m. to make that illustration for you. You have what is the state keeping that fake sun present over me while the Ontario police are present pursuant to criminal summoning, which is the demonic entity that's hostile as you document it. That's what I just showed you right now in video at 9:29, documenting the entity. It is 9:34 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, what I want to document is what you're going to pay attention to in my video and in my podcast documentation. That is the state acting via the Ontario police and the people of the state together threatening to engage in kidnapping me. That's what that was that I documented. That's a threat to engage in kidnapping while they are monitoring. And that's what I documented. And that is grounds of federal prison. That's what I am showing today. Excuse me. And so I want to make sure I point that out. You are talking about what is the entity making an unequivocal threat to kidnap me while they are engaged in the P.O.C. and it's being documented, and I'm in violation of the law. It is 9:41 a.m. P.O.C. All right, it is currently 11:23 a.m. and I captured what is video of the pattern of conduct, and that is the state keeping its fake sun that is over the location where I am while it is aiming directed light inside of the venue, while it is aiming directed light onto and underneath the structures, which I also took pictures of right now. This is the pattern, because this is what the state is doing while I'm, for example, west of this location. And the state is, well, I'm sorry, it's not just west, it is northwest of this location, the Ovid Family Community Library, where the state is engaged in and heavily documented already keeping its fake sun. And this does not coexist as I'm showing you what is its remaining fake sun over me in alignment to me at the specific location of the Ontario Village Shopping Center. All right. And this is the absence of any, and again, as I'm making the contrast to B&G Plaza, where I just captured the other day while the state was stalking with its fake sun Stalking by commercial airline planes, F475GT, that's a Utah plate. And the state's fake sun is in a directly distinct location, not possibly over the Ontario Village Shopping Center, as I am showing you step by step as it's remaining over the B&G Plaza over my head, being molested with what is not sunlight, directed light, while I am then walking to the Ovid Family Library, 8ZBA079. And that is distinct stalking conduct with the light source that remains over me. And today, the state's fake sun, and on that day, so let's be clear, on that particular day you have, and this particular day I will remind you in my documentation that is already published. And this is what I continue to do. Look back on this day. When you're looking at what I documented today, remind yourself about what I just documented 24 hours ago and understand what is stalking with light, 6RCU053. And then you are looking at the big picture when you see the demons in the Ontario police uniforms, 4VBY927, in the security guard patrol uniform. All right, FHX8967. When you see the demons that I'm identifying by license plate, 6X98172. All right, the demons that are violent sex offenders who are patrolling around while directed light, absolute psychopaths in a cartoon-like environment, 8FXX705. All right, hostile because you're revealing their secrets, which is no longer a secret anymore. Okay, demons flying over me in commercial airline planes, demons flying over me in helicopter, demons flying all around with directed light while flying around while they're driving by me, 7KSU937, demons engaging in expressing that demonic hostility on video under a fake sun. All right, that's the direct evidence of what is Satan. That's the satanic conduct of a psychopath who was furious because I'm documenting, and that is speaking to what is federal prison. The government engaging in that threat, 8LQS713. The government engaging in that sexual violence. These are psychopaths, as I have shown. That is one with knowledge of the fact that, first of all, what they're doing is now revealed. What they are doing is criminal, and not only that, what they are doing, they're going to pay a consequence for it. 7NXA119. What they are doing is entirely demented. Understand, all of these aspects that I have revealed is that which is infuriating to an entity, and that's why you have a white-faced demon engaging and going out of their way to communicate that threat. 8CVP858, doing it under the objective evidence of monitoring and stalking with the government, the fake sun, and directed light behind that demon's vehicle as it is arriving in the shade. And that fake sun, clearly impossible to coexist, as I have already published, it is remaining over the B&G Plaza at the same time. It is remaining over me while I am en route and both in the city of what is Fontana, all right, in the city of Upland. Name it. I've already documented it. I've already documented. So I'm showing you what are criminals, and those are criminals that engaged in the pattern of conduct. This is what I'm speaking to with regard to systematic infliction of inhumane suffering, S.I.I.S. for federal policy. That is the pattern of conduct. The government intends to engage in kidnapping and further terrorism while the American citizen that will be prosecuting the government because it's monitoring American citizens. That is the P.O.C. to engage in criminal summoning. When those demons representing law enforcement are already stalking you, that's why the fake sun is over you. They're just visibly doing it in your face, intentionally communicating an unlawful threat. 7LWB484. Criminal summoning is the pattern of conduct, and today I documented what is that entity that is demon-possessed. I'm surrounded by demons and I'm dealing with them. Understand that. But this is an unlawful threat, and they're going to federal prison, just like I told them on video and I told them on podcast, because I'm documenting it. And you are witnessing what are absolute psychopaths who are demon possessed, monitoring the one that's going to place them where they belong. 8ZBA079. And those are in cages. They're animals. That's exactly what they are. And those are dangerous psychopaths who know very well what they are doing is wrong. They know it's weird. They know it is on Front Street, on Plain Street, in plain sight, because the fake sun is right over. That's not the sun. And they know that. They know all of my documentation. This is the reality of a demonic entity. This is the reality of the government that's monitoring. That's the psychopath, okay? And I want to be clear, that's the same psychopath that is creeping in bathrooms and stalking around, that is stalking me with flashlights, running around, driving USPS vehicles. 6BJB081, that while the state is stalking in a helicopter over my car, placing a fake moon over the car at night, a fake sun over the car in the morning where I rise, where the state is amplifying audible activity of the train. You hear it here at the at Hope Boulevard, you hear it there at 630 North Front. It's impossible audible activity. While they are stalking with that audible, engaging in ongoing surveillance. And then those demons of the Ontario Police Department are arriving to engage in what is a terrorizing threat. The pattern of conduct does not stop. P.O.C. is criminal summoning. And that is what is grounds of federal prison, period. The absence of the state's light source over the Ovid Family Community Library, because that does not coexist. And I want to be clear, this is not only the state of California. This is, let me show you USPS who listens to me document them, and this is the conduct of demons as they arrive. All right, this demon monitoring 08325G3, stalking in the parking lot, loitering with a communication device, and opening and closing the door in order to create what is directed light. All right, I did capture that demon. She was loitering on the side of me. I did not address her because I'm documenting, I'm making my points, and she's just opening and closing the door. And what happens? Directed light moves across the asphalt while she does so on the side of me. While you hear what is audible activity of the train, this is the state playing a tape of noise. Playing audible activity under the fake sun that remains over me while she is stalking in the path. And so I did capture images of that. 8PVU 405, 7UZG 930, 7EIU 727, 6YWG 535, 8PCT 731, 5XMB 156. License plate 8PVU 405, 5TLJ 116, 8HOY 747, 7GKL 768, 5UYJ 748. 8KGC 825, 8UJW 691. (5YSF 282, BF 49E03 paper). 6YGA 552, 6FIV 597, 8LXL 597. 7Z51148, 7SBZ 755, 4YJR 177, 6GUJ 714, 6NLC 971. Oh yeah, I read that demon's list. 8CNZ 750, 7MPK 548, 8SYF 699, 7YSC 864, 8LXL 597, 6VHA 060. I read that New York plate on that Honda Civic. Again, it's FHX 8967. 8DG, ADGY 155, 8ESE 841, 7CHA 543, 8GXF 903. 6BJW 385, 8YRK 761, and it is 11:34 a.m. And like I was pointing out, you have what is more than one day, but I was just using the latest example, which I believe was approximately 48 hours ago, and the state was keeping its fake sun over me at the B&G Plaza, 8ULB 584. But you're remembering December 8th, okay? When I'm in the city of Upland, the state is keeping its fake sun over me in Ontario while I'm documenting the demons that are the Ontario police engaged in criminal summoning with the people of the state. They're demons that are monitoring together. All right, and it's obstruction of justice, and that is speaking to that necessity of policy. The government is going to what is federal prison while they seek to engage in those criminal acts of obstruction of justice, and that's exactly what it is. And it's the terrorizing conduct of the demon-possessed who are stalking and monitoring you. Okay, and yes, I captured that incredible criminal conduct under the fake sun. 8GCN 325, 7TAN 046, 5RSB 795, 7HEZ 313, BU51B 90 paper, 7ZTV 634, 7MRF 132, 6FTM 477, 8FKA 327, 8XNR 610, 7LZS 546, 7YEN 328. 6TTP 317, 7JQG 709, 8WTD 109, 6UOE 668, 8CSL 700, 6RPR 604, 5UYA 252, 6TED 230, 7GYK 855, 28188V2, 8XQN 586, 7BKK 557, 8BZK 831, 8VVM 283, 8MPL 992, 8POV 013, 8UNU 220, 4ZTB 021. And it's currently 11:36 a.m. Those are the minions that are parked representing third parties engaging in surveillance, monitoring together the same entity that is stalking to whatever location it is that I'm sleeping at. 5YEZ 436, monitoring with an underage. Stalking, engaging in that terrorism with an underage actor, monitoring with communication devices that's engaging in violation of criminal law, and the government and the people of the state do so with minions under the age of 18. All right, license 5PGP 757, 5UMK 829. Eight PKW 723. 7PEJ 790, 8TPD 082, 7VXR 408, 4SNW 720, 3LUW 253, ONLEEGD 5GGA 947. And I'm walking what is north up Bonita. Arriving at, Vesta, 55885Z1. And crossing path while the state's fake sun is moving north over me up Bonita, 7NVT 527, 8WUS 342. XMD 428, 7 MOC 569, 7K6 7749, 308 40E2, 8Z 82086, 7BFU 023, 18563P2. That's an ongoing signature, just like directed light, the state stalking with plane engines, 7KSU 937. 04545X2, 8CWC 990, 8MXB 331, 7WEM 064, 64380M1, 8DUH 542. Okay, this demon stalking with peculiarized light, turning their flashers on while they're driving down the street. This is, no license plate on the front. The license plate is 94057A3. That's a Latino male wearing a blue shirt and a black cap in operation of his communication device while they're driving down the street on Vesta. They're driving west on Vesta, crossing path with their hazards on. That's a demon stalking with light. I read that one already. 8AHF 678. 5EGG 884. Six MIB 525. Six CGW 884 is crossing path on Vesta. 6 PKF 381, 6 UWH 685. Yeah, that's 6 PV E381, 7AWR151, 60032X1, and passing third-party facilitating venue 507 West, Vesta Street. You have a demon on Vine Avenue right here across the street at 204 Vine Avenue, stalking with light, using their hazards. Magnolia Environmenta 8VWX 369, I believe, 6UEW 700. All right, 11:42 a.m. Just finished capturing video, and I'm showing you what is, first of all, 7TKW 690. All right, showing you that stalking incrementally, migrating step by step with a fake sun, which is entirely satanic, okay? It's entirely that which is demented, of a very threatening psychopath, threatening your life indeed, by virtue of that demented conduct and by virtue of the identity of that actor, that's the government. 6KDM299 and the people of the state. Okay, a mob, if you will, of demon-possessed stalkers, all of them tracking your foot equally, just like you see in the videos I'm showing you. As I move, the state is moving its fake sun. That's what you're witnessing. You already know that's not the sun. You're looking at the real-time movement of that light source over my head. I am the focus, and the entity is stalking in all manner. 7KPH841, including with that which is a fake sun, which is, by the way, while I'm showing you that real-time movement, in that street, 8BZK831, that's the absence of the fake sun remaining over the Ovid Family Community Library, by the way. It's the absence of it. All right, and that is contrary to what I'm showing you. First of all, remaining over that 280 North Lemon Apartments while I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library is that which is not with the sun. That's a light source, first of all. Second of all, you are talking about remaining in a distinctly different opposite direction, impossible to coexist, remaining over the sky space as I'm at the entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library while I'm facing the 280 North Lemon Apartments. That is not coexisting. And you have what is the state engaging in keeping that fake sun there as I step out later in the afternoon. And what is the state doing? I'm showing you what it's doing. It's moving over me as I go back to that venue where the state will then keep its fake sun at that venue. That is revealing what the state of California is engaging in. I want to be clear, this is what the government is engaging in the United States. It's not just California. And that's why I'm able to look at what our videos in the state of Memphis, Tennessee, And I want to show you there's images that I'm going to publish because what the state is doing here is they're monitoring in the state of Memphis. I'm sorry, in the state of Tennessee. They're monitoring. Memphis police are monitoring this documentation that, I'm sorry, it's not my documentation. It's actually what is published information with regard to the criminal act of the taking of the life of the rapper Young Dolph. And understand this has nothing to do with I never listened to Young Dolph. I don't know who that is. Not a fan. That's not what this is about. I am letting you know about what is the criminal activity underway while you are looking at the elements and the hallmarks that are present. 8 UND 513. I read that one. And you are looking at, in those surveillance images and in the video, a fake sun is directly over those actors as they are engaging in shooting Young Dolph, which is revealed in the surveillance videos. A fake sun is directly over them. And you see it by the light activity, the same exact light activity that I'm showing you. And not only that, even into the evening while you have understand what is coexisting where the government is monitoring, and you are where you've got a fake sun in the state of California. This is what I'm saying. The state of California is stalking with a fake sun. All right. How is Memphis, Tennessee ever going to have a sun over them, directly over them? And not only that, it's directly over those actors that are on surveillance cameras shooting the rapper Young Dolph on November 17th, 2021. And I have documentation of where I was at on November 17, 2021. Memphis, Tennessee is 2 hours ahead of our time. All right, so they're on Central Time. And I have documentation as I travel from Ontario to the city of Fontana. And my documentation is already established where I go with this, and the state keeps its fake sun over me, and the state remains with its fake sun over me. So while the state is then setting its fake sun over me in the city of Fontana, California, following me as I go then to the Fontana Metrolink train station with its light source, there would never, ever possibly be a light source not only present in the state of Memphis, Tennessee, but hovering over them, because those actors that engaged in that murder on camera, they're right. The light source is hovering over them, and you can see it by the light activity. This is what I have revealed. They are monitoring in the state of Tennessee. It's not just Tennessee. It's not just California. This is what the government is doing. And I will publish links to that so you can look at it. But you are looking at what is also in the video documentation. I'm sorry, it's not my documentation. It's videos that I was looking at online. And the light activity is revealing what is the presence of a fake sun hovering over them. Those are demons that are engaging in murder. And then you have what are the demons that are the police department. All of them are engaging in what is some investigation into an unknown assailant that has killed Young Dolph. And the reality is that they are all demon-possessed monitoring in the state of Tennessee. And all of the elements are present. And this is what I am speaking to with regard to an entirely unspoken system that is in operation. And all the ways in which that this system is present and is operating is yet to be revealed. But I know this. The P.O.C. was underway while Young Dolph was murdered in the state of Tennessee. They were under a fake sun. Those are demon-possessed actors, and so are the police that are monitoring in that same exact environment. It's not ignorant. There's no ignorance there. This is demonic activity, and you have what are demons that are in different statuses. So the demons that are the law enforcement, the demons that are the people of the state, and in the natural, you're looking at what is supposedly on different sides of the fence, if you will. You have what are assailants engaging in criminal conduct, and then you have what are the executors of the law, the police. All right. They're certainly on the right side of the law. They're engaging in seeking out those that are engaging in that criminal. No. They're demons that are monitoring together under the fake sun and indirected light, which, by the way, were this video that I'm showing you, where you have all these people around. They're under a fake sun, and directed light is visible in this video. I will post links to it, but what I have shown is speaking to the exclusion of, not even in Northern California is there possibly any sun over them, based on the documentation of what the state is doing here over me. And that is what I have revealed. Okay. Now this has nothing to do with me. I've never listened to Young Dolph. I don't know who that is. I'm not a fan. It's unfortunate that somebody died, but that's not what this is about. I'm talking about the P.O.C. And as you are understanding what the government is doing, the pattern of conduct, you are then opening and are aware with regard to the implications, with regard to everything that the government is stating that is happening, everything that the government is saying is the case, including the people. It's not just the government. Understand where the P.O.C. is underway. The people of the state are the very government. They're engaged in a criminal contract, if you will, together. It's demonic. It's demonic activity in the United States of America. And that is terrorism. Sometimes people are dying while the P.O.C. is underway. Who knows for what purposes? I'm not getting into that, but I know this, they were under a fake sun. I will show you those images. It's already published on YouTube. If you have not heard of it, the fake sun is hovering over those third parties, because that's what they are. While they are engaging in a murder, the fake sun is right over them. Right over them. It's hovering over them. And that is impossible to coexist with my long-term documentation of what is the state stalking me in San Bernardino County, with a fake sun as I move, and it remains. That's what my documentation shows. It remains where I remain for the duration of the day. That's the significance of what is stalking with the fake sun. That fake sun isn't going anywhere. And that is showing what everyone else is doing as well. That's exactly what I have done. Showing you what the state is doing with an environment is showing what everyone else is doing as well, because it's not possible that the state of Florida is getting any sun, because there's only one sun. There's only one. There's only one moon. And that is how the entity is revealing what it is doing on a massive scale. License 6JIM 672, 8XNB 365. That's the state sounding plane activity. It is currently 11:52 a.m. This is the absence of any light source over the 280 North Limit Apartments. This demon makes a U-turn 8H28593. California 17329, I believe, on the side of that van. That's a Latino male driving that van. That's a demon that's engaging in pacing. 4WDH556, 8LHC832. PZC061. That's audible activity. 4DYR170, 1DRAGNA, 7YVB585, 7GGN266, 8WHB723, 8WED859. 4JIS 256. That is a dog bark that is made echoic while the state is applying a microphone and everything. And it's also while the state is moving its fake sun over me as I'm walking toward the Ovid Family Community Library, which is the absence of any light source over the 280 North Limit Apartments, contrary to what I document on a constant basis, as it keeps its fake sun at that property as I remain at that property. All right, P.O.C. That is, let's see. I can't see that airline. Oh, that's FedEx flying directly over while I'm at the intersection of C Street and Palm. Alrighty, that was FedEx flying over my head at the intersection of C Street and Palm while the demon with license plate 8H28593 crosses path. Again, I cited him. He's making a U-turn. That's a demon that's pacing, walking back and forth, all right? That like a literal freak. Doing so in what is engineered light with the communication device is monitoring conduct by a demon while the state flies over, hovering over the very location where I'm at under the fake sun, which is also not over the 280 North Limit Apartments. All of this is what I pointed out in my video that I captured at 11:54 a.m. where that demon is pacing again at the address of 301 C Street, walking to that entrance, using the gate as a means of audible activity, then pacing back to the vehicle, opening up the car door of that van, closing it, walking back to that address where they are now loitering in relevant position in front of the door, studying a communication device under the fake sun. License plate 10985F2. That's a Latino male. And that's a demon-possessed one. And that's the terrorism of the people of the state. They're psychopaths. They're demons that are monitoring together. 8V62196. 8, and that's paper. 8YJK897. 6MNR788, 8LTJ950, 8KMV091, E933V0, 8ABP978, 6FWM246, 8LAG155. 8FTV143. All of the demons are coming out of parking lots, coming down the street, and now coming down this street. They're all waiting for me, tracking my every move. This demon with license plate 72751W2. 8AJP456, 8KDE758, 8DCH266, 8GZN047, walking past third-party facilitating venue, the chiropractic group, that chiropractor's office, which was used as a venue while the demon possessed were patrolling in and out of that venue, while patrolling all around the traffic as well, including FedEx, which I captured substantial documentation of on this day, where I showed you what was a fake sun right over that vehicle, that demon driving that vehicle, and you have what is the demons flying a FedEx vehicle over my head into the fake sun. But I want to be clear, this is the location where I'm at right now, where the state on that day kept the fake sun over that chiropractor's office, engaged in setting the sun in alignment to me of that chiropractor's office. License 8WTV528. While the state was stalking with helicopter, while I sat there flying in circles over and around me at that chiropractor's office, while the state was aiming directed light, and I showed you that impossible light activity while I remained over there across the street from that chiropractor's office, which was a facilitating venue, meaning it was open to the public. So you had a whole bunch of minions just using that as a means of patrolling around and stalking the path. 8BEN776. Remember that, because the state is engaging in placing and keeping its fake sun wherever it is that I remain. And that is also documentation that is mutually exclusive to everything I continue to document. 8CBF094. It's 11:59 p.m. 6BPA192. Six CHW470. 5BBM833. 8MEB193. 8NHT540, 6RZK906, 625328H3. This is Texas, NZM4277. 6XJT188, 4UJV722, 8ULS100. Under the fake sun, which as I show on video, is over me, very precise to where I'm standing on the sidewalk at C Street and Euclid, 2LWC493. On what is the north side of the Wells Fargo, across the street. Have not crossed the street to get to the opposite side of Euclid, where the state keeps its fake sun in over my head, in alignment with me as I'm walking from the Ontario Village Shopping Center toward the Ovid Family Community Library, which is revealing the absence of any sun, which is never the sun, as I've shown you that while I'm there. 8DVN353, 7ZKH800, 5SB7790, 07478V2, Enterprise, 1GPONCE, 8HXL444. And you have what is the state that is aiming that directed light all inside of the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, which is no form. The directed light, when it's at the back of the Ovid Family Community Library, that is clear migration of a fake sun from the entrance of the library to the back as I am there. I've shown you this 10:38 a.m. upon my entrance, and I've shown that more than one time, by the way. You have what is the state keeping its fake sun over me at the Ontario Village Shopping Center. How is the sun ever going to be, if that was the sun? This is the analysis you're going through, because it's not the sun. This is already established. That has never been my claim. It's not a mystery where the actual sun is at any time of year, and the actual conduct of the sun. I am showing what is the government's conduct of practicing a satanic targeting system, and that is stalking with light. And that is also documentation of what is a sex offender and engaging in terrorism. Terrorism by an entity. And that is why for you LV961, you apply that consistent analysis. That is clearly not the sun that's at the back of the Ovid Family Community Library, while you see directed light on the floor space inside of that library. After my entrance of showing the fake sun at the front part of that library, all of that is impossible, where the state is over the 7VES271 over the Ontario Village Shopping Center and remaining there until I exited the venue 11:20 a.m. I remain there. I'm still documenting BBY-BOY1. And the people of the state have already shown you their demon possession. They've already shown you the dangerous psychopaths that they are. They've shown you the sex offenders that they are, as they are stalking all around with directed light, doing so under a fake sun, which they very well know is present. That's exactly what directed light is speaking to, because directed light is not sunlight, but the entity's conduct is such that, assuming that some ignoramus is never going to be able to prosecute, thinking that it's impervious. 31009B2. EV324 handicap. Yeah, I read that one. You have what is their crossing path conduct with directed light, which is the coinciding conduct of what is the elements of monitoring: crossing path, light activity. All right, it's relevant positioning, 7 ROR 769, 8 WCS 584, and it is going the extra extent to touch while you're being a stalker. That's a sex offender. All right, you're touching while you're stalking. 8 DVN 353, 6 BVZ 733, starting his ignition while I stand in front of his vehicle. He's stalking in the path, studying a communication device monitoring while the state is moving its fake sun. All right, again, what am I showing you as I am capturing the state's fake sun that's remaining over the Ontario Village Shopping Center, 11:50 a.m. That's another a good example of the moment where I'm documenting the Ontario police who are engaged in criminal summoning today, who are stalking me and monitoring me while my panties are down inside of venues in concert with the people of the state. 11:50 a.m. I remain at the Ontario Village Shopping Center. I'm showing you what is step by step with the fake sun as it's remaining over me, and the state is engaging in the ongoing confirmation of what is stalking with the light source, as the contrary to that day 11:50 where I'm inside of the bathroom and the Ovid Family Community Library personnel is acting directly, entering in, stalking in the path, engaging in terrorism with knowledge that you're documenting it. That's a violent sex offender, all right, and also a violent sex offender acting on behalf of an entity, all right, and stalking in a private space. That's terrorism and sexually violent terrorism. 8TQB 246. And this is 11:50 a.m. where I show you, and then I step out who is in relevant position. The same demon-possessed agency that was engaging in criminal summoning today with the people of the state, because those demons are hostile to the prosecution that they're not going to avoid. All right, that's why they're going to federal prison, what I documented today. That's why they're going to federal prison, what I documented, while they're monitoring me with my panties down, while they have a line of kids outside under the fake sun that moved over me while I moved from the entrance of the library to this very location where I stand right now, where the state was moving in an opposite direction. The state is keeping its fake sun over me as I walk from the village to the Ovid Family Community Library. On that day, the state's fake sun running over the 280 North Limit Apartments and moves to this location, which is moving its west, as I'm walking away from the Ovid Family Community Library in order to get Higgins and Holcomb, I believe. Those are those Ontario police officers. And then the state is engaging in flying in a circle in helicopter, because those demons are hostile to revealing their condition and their criminal activity. Satan is running the police, the Ontario Police Department. They're puppets. Satan is running, in other words, Satan owns the people of the state of California. These are puppets, and their time is up. And let me be clear, Satan is highly furious with that. That's what you hear coming out of the mouth of that white-faced demon this morning, under the fake sun, okay? It is currently 12:07 p.m. That is McCarthy creating audible activity and light activity. And this is the statement of the placement, of the state's fake sun. As I'm coming from the intersection of C Street and Euclid, where I'm showing you the state's fake sun. This is exactly where the state's fake sun is. I'll take a picture of it. 8 RCG 262, stalking with activity. As I snap that picture, they're crossing paths. All right, it is currently 12:08 p.m. and that is a picture of the state's fake sun, which is, again, you reference that this is ongoing. Every angle you look at it, you're understanding stalking with light. All right, this line of demons: 8SQC824, 8MQW538, and in case I didn't read this one, 8RIR862. Capturing video of what is the state stalking in a commercial airline plane. The audible activity you hear in the background is under what is engineered light. McCarthy has no form. This is an ongoing state system, and that entire system has been broken down. They're also creating light activity while demons are pacing around. Under the fake sun, license 6Y81241. 8MQW538 is a demon that is pacing. Driving at the turn circle is a form for that pacing. CEMEX, CEMEX, license plate 58549C2. And it is currently 12:10 p.m. And you have what is the state moving its fake sun to remain over me as I arrive at the Ovid Family Community Library, which my documentation has already shown, where the state is present for totality, because this state is acting like it's the sun, and it's not the sun. And the state is keeping its light source over me while I'm at this venue early in the morning, keeping this fake sun over this venue while I document and step out in the afternoon into the evening as I exit. That's called stalking with light, and that's not the sun. And the more I document, you have what is the state engaging in what is obstruction of justice. All right, but it is not changing what is that clear objective evidence of what is not the sun. This is currently 12:11 p.m. as I'm arriving at the Ovid Family Community Library. That is CEMEX, CEMEX, stalking with audible activity using that truck. That's the same thing Omnitrans does. Sounding of an exhaust. It's a method of audible activity creation as they are focused on me. And those same demons that are focused on me are listening to me prosecute them where their entire cartoon environment is being pointed out, and they're very hostile to it, and it really doesn't matter. Satan is going to find itself locked up in federal prison. That's what's going to happen, and that's documentation of those that are going to federal prison. That's what I documented again today. It's 12:12 p.m. and you're understanding what is the pattern while you're documenting this egregious criminal system. The pattern of conduct by demons is to engage in what is criminal summoning. That's the pattern of conduct by demons. It's 12:12 p.m. and this is P.O.C. All right, this is paper plate BU91A39 and the VIN number is ZFBHRFAB4M6V35334. Says it expires March 1st, 2022. This is on a white Dodge Ram. It's a van. This is a third-party courier. At least this is the form that this demon-possessed stalker is taking, carrying a package into the venue that is Metro 102 apartments in relevant position, stalking with audible activity using the sounding of the car alarm. That is with the third-party group stalkers who are also on the ground, and I'm going to get their license plate as well. They're in directed light, and the demon is running around on the sidewalk. Remember, they're in directed light while they're engaging in crossing a path, okay? They are stalking with audible activity, and this one is molesting. License 7NLB309. This is Metro 102 Apartments that is monitoring. All right, this is just one venue that I'm identifying, and that sex offender that engaged in molesting goes inside of Metro 102 facilitating venue. 8RIA 909, and the one stalking with audible activity with this third-party group stalker who's at the venue of Metro 102, engaging in what is relevant positioning under the guise of delivering a package. It is nonetheless the criminal conduct in concert on behalf of the state. 6VYH132. Those are the demons that are stalking with audible activity, engaging in that terrorism and stalking conduct in concert with the state. They're also engaged in sexual violence. They're monitoring me while they are molesting me together. 7FOD931. It is currently 6:06 p.m. and I have exited the venue of the Ovid Family Community Library, obviously, documenting the ongoing P.O.C. while stalking is ceaselessly underway. It is, again, 6:06 p.m. and that is P.O.C. 8EKP408. That's a molester. That's a sex offender that is stalking. I have 4 shadows while I'm walking on the sidewalk. They are doing nothing but stalking. That is the people of the state, these demon-possessed stalkers, whose criminal and demented conduct is out on Front Street, like I said. And while I have 4 shadows, you're talking about touching while you're stalking. That's the sexual violence. That is B&G Plaza. It's currently 6:11 p.m. All right, stalking inside of the store. That is 5B58023. All right, I did take a picture of what is Group Stalker 5B58023, aiming light inside of the store, stalking relevant position in the parking lot. And while the state is also flying over Ontario Town Square by helicopter, and that third-party group stalker is engaging in molesting, okay? And so is 8LHC814. I will show you a picture. All right, that is indeed sexual violence of a stalker who was touching. That is, again, the 5B58023, or I read it correctly the first time. They drove off. They're molesting. They're stalking in relevant position, and they were literally stalking in the store. In the chip aisle bar of the refrigerated section, enters as I walk to that portion of the store, leaves out of the parking spot, which is a method of molestation, in order to touch with light as I'm engaging in movement, tracking every step. That's a sex offender. And then 8LHC814, this is a group stalker that's maintaining presence and pulls up into a park space. This is the reality of what these demons are doing. And you have what is maintaining presence and pulling up is a means while one demon leaves and molests, another arrives and molests, maintaining presence, engaging in sexual violence the whole time. And I took a picture right now of what was the state flying over the Ontario Town Square townhomes. Okay, this is a fat-faced Latino male. All right, that Latino male is monitoring. This sex offender touches me while he is stalking, and I did take a picture of what is the state flying over by helicopter. The rest of these demons that are stalking in relevant position at the venue of Shiro's Liquor, 8SAA016, 6ADR905. This one enters the parking lot. This demon you hear, he's patrolling with a communication device while I'm being molested while the state's flying over by helicopter. All right, license 8XFS256. And it's currently 6:18 p.m. This is, again, I referenced stalking in the store earlier. The store is Shiro's Liquor, okay? This is P.O.C. And it's 6:18 p.m. All right, the license plate 8DRH875 7LYB202. All right, and that's it's 6:19 p.m. This is leaving the venue, Shiro's Liquor. Like I said, I'm speaking with regard to what are with regard to the ownership of that venue. You're talking about the third-party owner of Shiro's Liquor is stalking as well. I'm speaking to those who are entering inside of that venue for purposes of stalking inside of that market and molesting, entering and exiting the parking lot area, all for them to engage in stalking and touching together. That's what that's about. Because the very owner themselves, the ones that are working there, they're literally stalking in the store. I mean, they're literally stalking, and their status is inevitably one of the stalker. You are stalking on behalf of the state, and there is no form. All right, but I just want to be clear, this is what I'm in reference to. There is no ambiguity with regard to what is group stalking on behalf of the government that is literally flying in a circle over the Ontario Town Square townhomes, which I took a picture of, owning a venue, living in an apartment or living in a house, working across the street while you're in relevant position, while the state's monitoring system is underway, is no form. The people are monitoring with the government. This is an entirely comprehensive targeting system. And you have seen how that malicious system operates, and there is no avoiding that federal prosecution for what are exceedingly violent sex offenders. All right. So it is 6:20 p.m. and that is P.O.C.
See, license 7 PCS 820.
It is currently 6:21 p.m. 5V41521 7LWS 241 8TTG 211 8JIE 903 6LRD 987 SICKSID. He's got the sick part right. 7ZDZ 684 4POB 056. And I read that license plate already. All right, I just want to recite the license plate of the sex offender, including third-party facilitating venue. Well, this is B&G Plaza. Within that facilitating venue, the state is using the venues for purposes of what is patrolling in and out, molestation with what is directed light, stalking, engaging in surveillance, loitering in relevant position. And so I want to be clear, these are all sex offenders. The state is systematically monitoring and molesting with light. And those are identifications of those who are in relevant position while demons are on the run, thinking they're escaping something while they're engaged in an ongoing perpetual sex offense. Metro by T-Mobile is a facilitating venue where demons are engaging in what is the forum for stalking in the parking lot, sitting in relevant position and alignment while the state is molesting with directed light, while the minions are patrolling in and out. For example, Andy's Burgers, that's exactly what they serve for. This is the criminal system in operation, and you're looking at how there is no veil behind which that pattern of conduct, which is inherently sexually violent, has any form whatsoever, has any shield either from being nothing other than engagement in those criminal elements, which are inherently sexually violent. You have what is an obsessive stalker that is always incessantly touching. Okay? Touching all the time, touching while stalking all the time. 7XC3, I can't really see that one. 7XC136, I believe, but I don't think I saw the whole license plate. It's 6:23 p.m. It's P.O.C. B&G Plaza. All right, documented what is the people of the state acting through the third party whose license plate I captured on video at 6:28 p.m. engaging in terrorism and stalking with the government who drives by an Ontario police vehicle. The same demons that you witnessed today, yet again, engaging in P.O.C, demonstrating what is terrorism for the masses who are learning what the government is engaging in, which is monitoring, practicing satanic activity. Did so under the fake sun, which I thoroughly revealed to you. Actually, I comprehensively revealed it, but I even have more documentation than what I demonstrated with regard to showing what was the glaring direct evidence of psychopaths and demon-possessed ones who were engaged in criminal summoning, what is harassment, while terrorism by absolute demon-possessed stalkers, all of whom were engaged in the P.O.C. as I encountered them and captured them on my podcast and on my video. That same agency that is going to federal prison, all right, crossing path in directed light right now while I'm at B&G Plaza. This group stalker who you see on video engaging in peculiarized light activity creation is on the side of the road in alignment to me in the red, while the Ontario police, also while two helicopters are pacing in front. They're flying in opposite directions. That's pacing. All right, this is demonic activity. So you're understanding the context of what you're doing when you're going in a direction. It's called crossing path. When you're going in both directions, that's called pacing. It's called patrolling. That's what these demons are doing all together in the aggregate, by the way. So you have, what is the Ontario Police, by the way, while this is ongoing, state is stalking via aircraft above me. The demon-possessed entity that you see stalking with peculiarized light right here in front of me, the state is via Ontario Police is driving by, which is crossing path and directed light. The ongoing environment is present. They are stalking with audible activity, using that police vehicle as a means of audible activity, using their vehicle as what I have referred to as blurping it, like just a short siren sound, not a whole siren sound, which is audible activity. And it was pursuant to a demonic behavioral pattern. Like I'm eating right now. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm eating. And so while I'm eating and the position that I'm sitting in, essentially my elbow is touching my phone. Like I engage, in other words, in a movement with simultaneity to that demon that is in a car that is driving west on Hope Boulevard at a distance away from me knows exactly what I'm doing. All right. And you, that is the understanding both of the hovering stalking activity and the sex offenders that are the people of the state. Understand that. They're demons. All right. And you have what is creation using that police vehicle. Those are demons creating audible activity. They're in directed light. So you have what is that demon driving that Ontario police vehicle, sounding it and turning on its lights while the light was green, while no traffic was obstructing. And I'm letting you know there is no emergency. It's the P.O.C. All right. But I'm just letting you know, even with regard to their use of the form that they don't have anymore, demons rely on form. It's supposed to be normal society. And I'm letting you know this is a criminal system embedded into society in the United States. The government is monitoring. The people of the state are monitoring, and they're all demon possessed. It's demonic activity that is made manifest before your eyes. Demonic activity is in everyday life. And that's what I'm revealing. These are demons, and it's a government system. And so while you have what is the form that they rely on, letting you know this Ontario police officer is driving down the street where there's no traffic in front, where the light is green, all right, and they're just using their lights and their sirens with simultaneity, by the way, to what I was doing, which was a physical movement. In addition to that, I showed you in video what was the state stalking by helicopter, okay, and that demon-possessed stalker, that is the people of the state, stalking with peculiarized light. 7ZAE257 6HJZ 275 or 725 7ATY 905 7YVA 911 018. These are demons lined up in traffic stalking. 01801EF 6RBL 617 359 64S2 7GCH 140. And it's currently 6:32 p.m. And that is P.O.C. what I captured on video. And these, while the psychopaths are listening to me document, you have the buildup of traffic. Understand the state is controlling the traffic lights. The buildup of traffic is relevant positioning. They remain in directed light, and the state is sounding amplified plane activity and stalking by a helicopter, flying around the perimeter around me, which is also a terrorizing threat. Okay, it is currently 6:32. Let me get this demon's license plate. It is 8V7205, leaving out of the BNG Plaza right now. That is P.O.C. All right, molesting together, 8PGS160, 8ETT280, and coming across path is 8PDW219. What you see is 8PGS160, who is in directed light, is aiming headlights toward me, molesting, and you see the other demon that's sitting in relevant position behind his vehicle. Both of them are monitoring together. That's what I took a picture of. And that is amplified audible activity of the train. The state is still stalking via, first of all, law enforcement and by helicopter. 8ZDT921. This is P.O.C. 6:35 p.m. That's terrorism by the people of the state, demons that are stalking together and stalking with light. Okay? It is 6:36 p.m. Omnitrans 1399982 is a means of touching and stalking with activity the moment that I get online to upload my podcast that I just that I've been recording, and then as I press the screen on my phone to record the fact that Omnitrans with license 1399928 or 82, whatever I just said, it was correct the first time. You have what is flashing of light, all right? And then the state is aiming directed light all the way to the opposite side of the street where the Ontario Town Square townhomes are, okay? That's directed light that they're molesting with, that they're stalking with. This is entirely demonic conduct, like I said. And again, using a flashlight is a method of a demon's stalking with light. That's what the United States Postal Service, that's what's attributed to them, because they gave that demon-possessed stalker that vehicle to engage in the P.O.C. That's the demonic stalking conduct with light. It's entirely demented what they're engaging in. This is what is probative with regard to also a fake sun. It's engineered light. and the state is literally stalking with it, okay? 6EQT038 are molesting while the state flashes that light as I document the license plate of Omnitrans. This is 6:38 p.m. This is the demons who are stalking together and witnessing their very own destruction, which is going to be on the world stage. I mean, it already is on the world stage. This is published on the internet, but it's I'm going to punish Satan, if you will. They're going to federal prison, the entity engaging in criminal summoning. That is the pattern of conduct the government fully intends to engage in kidnapping. Understand the threat that is waged. I already documented this. The entity engages in kidnapping and seeking to permanently confine, okay? Ontario PD crossing path again. And intends to permanently confine. That is starting with 156. I can't see the rest of the license plate of Ontario PD. This is so sad. They're going to federal prison. It's not sad. It's deserving, but it's sad in that it's pathetic. Okay, but you literally saw the faces of Satan today, and you're talking about what is the entity engaging in criminal summoning today. Criminal summoning is that which is intended to result in a kidnapping while the entity is stalking and monitoring you, while they're hostile to that documentation, which the targeted individual, the American citizen, shall engage in documenting the public entity as it is stalking and monitoring, period. Criminal summoning is federal prison, period. Engaging in what is kidnapping, federal prison, period. And you are talking about not getting out. All right, the government is engaging in unprecedented, egregious levels of criminal conduct, as I have shown. And like I said, kidnapping is, first of all, based on what is the exercise of fictitious authority under the law while the government's engaged in criminal conduct. Second of all, kidnapping is the coordinated criminal act of the entity that intends to criminally defame. This is what the entity engaged in repeatedly while it kidnapped, and then it sought to artificially engineer a case for mental insanity, for mental incapacity. That's the pattern of conduct. So understand the threat that the people and the entity directly engage in with regard to that. And that's exactly what I documented with regard to fictitious prosecution, case number Mary Wendy Victor to 0000640. That is the people of the state of California, imagine that, versus Erica Lorraine Spencer. And the fictitious prosecution, which was in 2019, where I was kidnapped by Officer Jay Burnett of the Ontario Police Department. And this is documentation that is published. I am, again, putting all of that big picture together, but it's already published online on my website. I've already spoken about it. I've already documented this. It is already in existence. You are looking at the big picture now and understanding how the state system works and witnessing what is demonic activity and how those demons operate. And that is the same entity that is now sounding sirens as it is pacing back and forth in directed light. It is the same pacing conduct as I'm isolating the Ontario Police Department. Those are demons repeatedly crossing path. It's a demon. It's a psychopath that's just pacing back and forth. Understand? The entity as one is engaging in ongoing pacing in the aggregate together in the same demented environment, while absolute psychopath stalkers are engaging in cockroach-like positioning, like I showed you in the parking lot, while they're molesting and stalking with light. It is currently, 6:41 p.m. and this is P.O.C.
She was like, I just saw
AVFW 209, stalking with peculiarized light on Euclid Avenue. We're approaching the 10 freeway right now. And this is the same entity, I want to be clear, that is stalking where I am at the vehicle at 630 North Front. There's no distinction, including the demon-possessed Ontario Police Department officers who stalk again while I'm picked up in the vehicle at B Street and Sultana. 8NZM, I can't see the rest of that one, 8YHL 888. 8TZF713, 49221Y2, 8NDB625. This is the same entity while the entity is molesting, right, with directed light while I'm sitting on the bench outside of the bus stop. That is the state cycling directed light across that brick wall of the bus stop, because headlights while you are driving east and west on Holt Boulevard is not cycling light behind me. And that would be light that's moving in the direction which would be, if you're thinking about it as far as movement of light, it's moving south while they are driving straight, meaning they're crossing paths with me. That's not headlights. And it's the same thing that I've showed you on the bus of the Omnitrans, where I just recently, again, showing you what was the state cycling directed light on that bus. And literally, as I pointed out to you, for example, the shadow of the top of the chairs that was appearing on the floor, absolutely impossible light activity. The state immediately engages in cycling that light, and you don't see that shadow anymore because the state is engaged in real-time monitoring. The direct light remains, though. The state is just a moving light around, and this is the creation of what is dynamic light. This is what the state is doing inside of the car. This is the same conduct that the state is engaging in on Holt Boulevard while those demons are stalking around in relevant position while the state is stalking via Ontario Police directly. I want to document that. This is speaking to a federal prison and talk about that worthiness of that and the unworthiness for being released from it based on that threat that they are posing, and intentionally so. Very dangerous psychopaths to be disrobed of that uniform, okay, and stripped from the ability to threaten American citizens in such manner, which is the P.O.C, by the way. It's currently 6:55 p.m. And this same exact entity, like I said, is the one that is stalking while I'm in the car. So don't be mistaken about that. And I'm just making, I know you're not, because I'm very thorough to point that out. Even while I'm at that car and the state is placing its fake moon, and then during the day, its fake sun is over that same street in perfect alignment with me, and then following to whatever location I go, regardless of the ongoing documentation of what is clearly not the sun. This is the state engaging in what is that hovering stalking activity and doing it via law enforcement, okay? Doing it with knowledge of the fact that you're documenting. 7YJG096 is molesting. They are doing so while they're monitoring with the demon that's on the opposite side of Euclid Avenue, which is occurring while I am sitting inside of the vehicle, facing north on Euclid Avenue. I'm being molested inside the car. Substantial light activity inside, and the form is supposed to be a group stalker turning onto Euclid from Arrow Highway. That's not headlights, like I said. So you have what would be blinding drivers everywhere around, in the same way Metrolink will be deafening riders if its train was actually that loud. This is what the state engages in. These are just examples of what is demonic. Everything is exaggerated. It's entirely a demonic environment serving for what is group massive monitoring with communication devices. That's what it's serving, and it's absolutely in a demonic environment. It's terrorism, all right? So it is 6:56 p.m. I want to make sure that I note that. And ongoing molestation while I'm sitting at the bus stop, and I've uploaded my podcast, as you see now. At 6:57 p.m., so I'm going to upload this, but everything is uploaded before this time capsule right now. And the state engaging in just ongoing molestation with light. This is the sex offender touching all over you with this engineered light, and doing so while I'm in operation of my phone. It's serving that criminal purpose. And then when I get into the car again, I want to note that is the Ontario Police group stalking at the intersection of B Street and Sultana. All right. The entity is patrolling 7GZJ248 8DDK616. This is P.O.C. It's 6:57 p.m. 8VVY200. They're stalking to the parking lot and touching, and blasting music while he's touching. That's a monitoring. That's what a Latino male looks like. And also 8XZV447. It is currently 7:29 p.m. And this is occurring again. Let me go back. This is at the Rite Aid. That is that anchors the plaza that's on G Street and Euclid Avenue. And I want to document P.O.C. inside of that venue. I am on the surveillance cameras, and I exit at approximately 7:30 p.m. And I am subject to the pattern of conduct. They are stalking, making substantial noise while I'm standing at the back where the pharmacy area is. And you have what are the pharmacists that are ignoring me while they're monitoring. All right, they're creating substantial audible activity, and they're engaging in the P.O.C, and they're ignoring me while I'm waiting for them to address me for customer service. And then I want to also document what is a method of harassment, and this is an Asian male. He's tall. I would guess he's of Japanese descent, but nonetheless, he's an Asian male, and he is a pharmacist back there, and I have encountered him before, meaning he has monitored me before at that Rite Aid, where I did go to get a different prescription. This was in December of 2020, and this same one, I want to be clear, they're all monitoring together. And so, for example, what a grocery store has available to purchase and doesn't have available, has out on display and or not out on display. I document the same thing inside of any third-party facilitating venue such as Walmart or Target, where the stalking entity is aware of anything that I may be looking for, of anything that I have commonly purchased. And in this case, as I go to the dentist to get what is and then after I go to the dentist, I have a prescription to go get, you have what is the unavailability of that. And it is even the disrespectful manner with which this Asian male who was monitoring is writing it off and say, oh, I don't have it. So, I don't have it. And he writes it off while they're monitoring. Okay, stalking with audible activity. This is terrorism inside of the store. And I want to document that molestation that I'm documenting of the third party with the 8VV license plate. He's molesting while he is stalking. All of them are monitoring together. Those demons together are engaging in what is the pattern of conduct. And so while I'm inside of the store, you have what is the entity expressing to me that they don't have available a prescription for to retrieve from them while the pattern of conduct is underway. And all I am stating is the fact that it is relevant while the government is monitoring. Okay. And it is with regard to everything else. This is that which is permeating into every facet where the government is monitoring. And I am one who is going to also prosecute it. So you're talking about levels of hostility, methods of harassment, methods of targeting. Okay, and this is every which way that you can fathom it, from the running of a bus line, from the availability of products to purchase, especially those that you have purchased before or that the entity thinks that you might want or you might be it's you're dealing with Satan. It is, on the one hand, it is entirely pathetic and juvenile and sophomoric, but these are methods of targeting by an entity. It's relevant for prosecution. Okay. And I want to document that. So they were monitoring me, first of all, and I also want to document what is the audible activity of stating that they don't have the prescription that I was specifically looking for available, and doing so while the pattern of conduct is underway. Whether or not it's actually available or not, that's a question of fact, and it's neither here nor there. I'm going to document nonetheless because it is methods of demons to engage in that sort of conduct in order to express hostility. And that, again, that's the Rite Aid on G Street where the pattern of conduct is underway. And this same entity, again, following to where I'm at right now, outside of 630 North Fern Avenue, where the entity is listening to every word, stalking, engaging into what is aiming directed light inside of the car. That same demon. This is what is so funny. During the night, I'm documenting the same demons that I'm showing you their faces during the day under the fake sun and in direct light while they were stalking. And that's exactly what you saw. All the demons whose license plate I read, they're the same entity that are stalking right now, listening to everything that I'm saying, and exceedingly hostile because I continue to prosecute and embarrass. All right. And psychopaths deserve to be embarrassed. They're sick. All right. These are animals and they are entirely depraved and demented. And I'm going to show them in that state that they actually are raw, unadulterated psychopaths who are violent sex offenders based on their pattern of conduct. It is what it is. Okay, so I'm not going to mince words with the conduct of a sex offender. I'm not going to call it something else. No, it is what it is. You're a sex offender and you're a stalker and you're the government engaging in that, and you don't have any form. You're present on behalf of that government. That whole pattern of conduct is coded all over you. You don't have any form. So I have shown you, and that's what you witnessed today, that demon-possessed stalker that is listening to every syllable right now while engaging in ongoing stalking all day long on a ceaseless basis, including inside of the private space. All right. So it's currently 7:39 p.m. in that entity aiming directed light inside of the car. Those demons of the Ontario Police Department are part of that same stalking conduct. The demons of the Ovid Family Community Library, they're part of that same stalking conduct. The terrorism by the entity that's pacing in helicopter above me at Ontario Town Square, the same stalking conduct. The third parties that are stalking via commercial airline planes, the names of those airlines is not remaining a mystery. They're going to be prosecuted for that same exact conduct while the state is aiming impossible light activity inside of the car. All right, demons patrolling, license plate 6XTB543. And let me be clear, that's a demon that's listening to me speak while I'm inside of the car. And the state is aiming directed light inside of the car. That's a psychopath that I say they're going to federal prison for stalking a helicopter. And then that psychopath engages in flying over me again in a helicopter. That's what that conduct is. Okay. You're talking about what is that psychopath revealing it for what they are. They're stalkers listening to me and then engaging in more of that stalking activity. That's what the Ontario Police Department engaged in as well. That is relevant to what is sentencing for federal prison. Okay. It is currently 7:40 p.m. Just wanted to get out and get those demons. Those are the psychopaths that are listening and then engaging in that ongoing stalking activity, which is the ongoing pattern of conduct. That's what the government is doing. The stalker is listening to you document the fact that they're stalking and engaging in more of that stalking conduct. So I just wanted to name one of those demons acting on behalf of an entity that's engaged in obsessive and ceaseless stalking and sexual violence. It is 7:41 p.m. and the pattern of conduct continues here where the state is engaging in that same stalking activity, stalking with light, stalking with audible activity, and stalking as the pack of animals that they are, the demon-possessed entity, the people of the state and the state of California. P.O.C.